Hey guys, so we made it through the first week, and I think we all did pretty well. There are a few things I want to talk about before we go over what we're going to today. And so, first thing is please go back and read the comments that I'm writing on your work from last week, especially on Friday, because that has to do with today. If you can, and I said this to you on Friday, if you go back and read those comments and comment so that I see that you read them, then I'll give you a bonus point each time to go towards your test. Because we're not in class for us to talk and me say, hey, this is what you did wrong or this is what you did right. That's my form of communication with you. So please go back and read those comments. Second is we do have a test on Friday. It will be an open note test that will be timed. So for those of you who are using the math apps on your phone, a couple of things I want to say is one, they're great for you because I'm not there with you. And so that allows you to see if you're getting the right answer. So that they can be used in a great way. But some of you, and you know who you are using it to do all of your work. Now here's the thing. Some of you that are using it to do all of your work aren't telling it to do the right thing. Now you're not Googling the right thing. And then it's real obvious that what you wrote and what you typed in is something from a math app or something you Googled and wasn't correct because it has nothing to do with what I asked for. Or it's not in a form that we do. We do our x-intercepts in decimal. If you give it to me in radical form with square roots and stuff, then I know you just did a math app to do that. So it's real obvious. And the test on Friday, I've downloaded a lot of those same math apps, will be designed so that you can't just use a math app or Google the question. So you need to use that in the correct way to let you see if you're doing this correct or not. Okay? All right, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to go through some more examples of graphing quadratic functions. Some of you who still got it right from Friday still didn't put enough points and things like that, and there were still some issues that I wrote on the comments. So I'm going to try to address these now. So we're going to go through this example. First thing we want to do is identify A, B, and C. A is 2, B is 8, and C is 6. So first thing we do is find our vertex. The x value of your vertex is negative b over 2 times a. So that's going to give you negative 2. Then the y value, we plug in negative 2. And that should give us negative 2. So our vertex is at negative 2, negative 2. Then I draw in my axis of symmetry. This is not the x and y axis. This is that I should have 1 point on this side and 1 point that's the same distance on the other side except for my vertex. Then I find my y-intercept, which is 0c, so that would be 0, 6. There's my y-intercept. Then you need its mirror image. Some of you aren't drawing that. You have to have 5 points on your graph. So this is 2 coordinates to the right of this line. So I go 2 to the left and draw another point. Then to get my other 2 points, I'm going to find my x-intercepts. So I use quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over the whole thing over 2 times a. Now I'm going to pull up Desmos. From Thursday, you need to look back at my comments. Some of you did not type it in correctly with this part of it being in the fraction. So when I type this in, I'm going to type in negative 8 divide. And then I'm going to go back up there. So the 8 should be in the numerator plus square root. Okay, now here I can see I made a mistake. The square root's not in the numerator. So I want to go back up there and make sure that that square root is in my numerator. Alright, so I get -3, and I go back and change that to a minus, and I get -1. So my x-intercepts are -3, 0, and -1, 0. So then I go and plot -1, -3, and then I draw my parabola. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points are plotted. You must have 5 points. Alright, let's do another example. So here's another thing to think about. So concavity, because I haven't been making you write this. On this first example, A was positive, greater than 0, which means it should be concave up. My graph is concave up. On this one, A is -1, which is less than 0, so that means my graph should be concave down. So if the points I plot don't make it concave down, then I know I've done something wrong. So first thing I do is find my vertex. -b, b is already negative, so I make it positive, over 2 times a. That gives me -1. Then I substitute in. Make sure that negative's on the outside of the parentheses. And I should get 2. So my vertex is at -1, 2. Then my y-intercept is 0c, so that would be 0, 1. My x-intercepts, quadratic formula, -b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So then I'll go back and put this in Desmos. So I hit 2 divide by, and then I go back up. Plus square root -2 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. I get a decimal, -2.4, and I put my minus, and I get 0.4. So -2.40 and 0.40. Alright, now I go to make my graph. My vertex is at -1, 2. Here's my axis of symmetry. My y-intercept is at 0, 1. My x-intercepts are at -2.4, 1, 2, and a little bit past it, and 0.4, just a little bit past 0, and then I draw my parabola. Alright, so today I've got some practice questions. Again, I would like for you to do, please use the graph paper. If you need more graph paper, message me. I'll send some graph paper here to the front office you can pick up, or I'll mail you some home. Couple of things. I posted my number because I'm not working at school as much. So if you were to need to call me or FaceTime me, you're welcome to do that as long as it's during the day. Or text me, and then you can message me on Schoology. And second is I posted where I want you to sign up for Khan Academy and how to do that and those instructions. So I need you to do that also today. So look at the comments from last week, watch this video, practice some and send it to me, and then sign up for Khan Academy. Have a good day. Miss you all.